Hello everyone, I am Dr. Srijit BK. In today's video, we are going to deal with mainly four things, four topics. First thing, intensity of radiation. Then we will see what is Lambert's cosine law. Then heat exchanger between black bodies and related Shea factor concept. Before going to study the intensity of radiation concept, first we should study what is meant by solid angle. It is defined as the ratio of spherical surface enclosed by a cone with vertex at the center of the hemisphere to the square of the radius of sphere. That means you consider the figure as shown here. Here, this point, the center point of the hemisphere, from this center point, some radiation is emitting all over this direction. So you just imagine that one lid is there, one enclosure, hemispherical enclosure is closed. This is closed. It closed this point. Okay, so the radiation emitting from this point will be striking all over this hemisphere surface. Now you consider a small portion of the radiation which is emitting from this center, and it is going to strike over the curved surface of this hemisphere. Let the shape will be something like a cone. So the angle subtended by these two generator is called the solid angle omega, and which is expressed as the area where the light beams or the emitted radiations are striking over the hemisphere. This area divided by the radius, so connecting the center of this area and the center of this radiation emitting point or the center of that hemisphere. So the it's square, and this ratio is called solid angle. Its SI unit is steradian. Usually represented by SR, and if consider if the R square, the radius square is equal to area, then it will be equal to 1 steradian. Physically, you can consider example of a torch light. Suppose one torch light is here, and here you have a screen, and if you are switching on the torch light, the light beams from the torch light will strike over this screen. It will get projected over the screen. So the area of that light projected divided by square of the distance is the solid angle. Why we need this solid angle? See, the solid angle concept is a kind of three-dimensional. Suppose I want to say some light radiation is emitting from the center point and striking over this center of this area. So in order to say that one, I can construct a line from the center point to the center of this area. So the inclination of that line can be represented by two angles. One is angle with respect to this normal, and second one is the angle with respect to this horizontal axis R. So these two angles are called zenith angle and azimuthal angle. So if I simply define zenith angle and azimuthal angle, I can define the direction or a line starting from the origin to the center of this area. But in case of a light, since it is diffused in property, it emit in a different angle, so it will spread over certain angle. That spreading property or the property can be defined by some certain angle. That angle is called solid angle. Next, we will see what is the definition of intensity of radiation. The intensity of radiation represented by I is defined as the rate of heat radiation in a given direction from a surface per unit solid angle per unit area of the emitting surface on a plane normal to the direction of radiation. You consider this figure, second figure. See this small rectangular plate having area dA from which some radiation is emitting. So the intensity of this radiation I can be defined as the radiation given in a given direction. Radiation in a given direction. So this dotted line represents given direction. That given direction is defined by theta and phi, where theta is the zenith angle and phi is the azimuthal angle. So in given direction from a surface, okay, from this surface per unit solid angle, this solid angle is unit, and unit area of emitting surface, that emitting surface dA area is unit or 1 meter square on a plane perpendicular to the direction of radiation. So this is the direction of radiation. So you consider a plane perpendicular to this one, which is perpendicular to the screen, as well as this dotted line. So that light is projecting to there, or that radiation is projecting to that surface. So the total radiation projected over that surface is called intensity of radiation. Once again I will explain the concept. So intensity of radiation, IE, is defined as the rate of heat radiation dq dot. Okay, this is the heat radiating from the surface dA in a given direction. I told you, in order to define the direction, this dotted line, we need theta and phi. So we defined in a particular direction from a surface dA per unit solid angle d omega per unit area of emitting surface on a plane perpendicular to the direction of radiation. Means if dA is the area of surface from which the radiation is emitting, and if this is the direction which we need, or the emitted radiation where we are focusing, the dotted line, then on the surface on a plane normal to the direction of radiation. So here it is dA cos theta. What is dA cos theta? We are projecting this dA in a plane perpendicular to the direction, perpendicular to this dotted line. That means we are projecting dA perpendicular to this dotted line, something like this. So what will be the value of this dA in this projected area? It will be dA cos theta. For easy understanding of this dA cos theta, just imagine here you have dA, and exactly above this one another projected area is there, or another area is there. So both the planes are parallel. That means what's the projected area of dA on this plane here? It will be dA cos 0. That means dA itself. That means if you project this one in a direction perpendicular to this normal, it will be same as dA. When it is inclined to theta, it will be dA cos theta. Now you consider I am projecting this dA in a plane here. That means we cannot project at all, because the angle between DA and this projected plane or this line is 90 degree, that is dA cos 90, which will be 0. So at any cost we cannot project this dA over here, so it can project from this area only. Its unit is watt per meter square SR, steradian. Now let's derive a relation between emissive power of a black body and intensity of radiation. For that, consider a figure as shown here. the second part r sine theta d phi. So this is the angle d phi. This is very small angle. So if you take tan d phi, we can consider tan phi as tan d phi as d phi only. So d phi is equal to this length divided by this length. So what is this length? We already derived it. It is equal to r sine theta. So r sine theta into d phi will give you this arc length. So this is the r sine theta d phi. The other one is r d phi. So altogether dA is equal to r d phi, d theta into r sine theta d phi, which can be written as r square sine theta d phi d theta, or dq is equal to ia dA1 cos theta. The remaining, if you substitute the value of dA using this one, it will come here. So r square will get cancelled. So remaining are cos theta sin theta d theta d phi, so which is equal to I1 dA1. You know that cos theta sin theta is equal to sin 2 theta, so d theta d phi. So this is the radiation emitted by this dA1 black body surface towards the projected surface of this dA1 cos theta in this particular direction. Now, so the radiation emitted in all direction, not only in this one direction, the all direction, that means the overall the hemisphere, can be obtained by integrating this d theta to this angle 0 to theta, and integrating the same equation with the angle phi from 0 to 2 pi. So phi will be 0 to 2 pi entire circle. Meanwhile the theta will be from 0 to pi by 2 only. So if you integrate it, you will get a, geometrically we will get a sphere. So we are going to integrate it. This is the equation that we are going to integrate in order to get the total black body radiation. So if I integrate d phi, it will be phi only, and if I integrate sin 2 theta with respect to d theta, it will be cos 2 theta, sorry, this is cos 2 theta divided by 2, and that theta should be integrated from 0 to pi by 2, whereas phi, if I integrate from 0 to 2 pi, it will be 2 pi only. So I directly written after integration of d phi and applying its limit. So ultimately if I integrate d phi with respect to integrated from 0 to 2 pi, I will get 2 pi, and the same time this is the second term. So finally I will get something like this, and finally it is I1 dA1 pi. Now the emissive power of black body can also be written by EB1 is equal to Q by dA1. We know that emissive power means radiated energy divided by its area. Q is the radiated energy, dA1 is its area. So emissive power of that black body EB1 is equal to Q by dA1. So substituting the value from this equation, we will get something like that. dA1 and dA1 will get cancelled. Finally we will get EB1 is equal to I1 pi. That is, the emissive power of black body is pi times the intensity of emitted radiation. So this is a very important derivation or relation, and also we can write as I1 is equal to EB1 by pi. EB1 is the emissive power of black body, which also can be written as sigma T1 raised to 4 divided by pi, which is, this relation is from Stefan Boltzmann. That is, thus the intensity of radiation I1 depends only on temperature because sigma and pi are constant. The next one is Lambert's cosine law. It states that the total emissive power E theta from a radiating plane surface in any direction is directly proportional to the cosine of the angle of emission. That means if theta is the angle subtended by the normal to the radiating surface and a direction vector of emission of receiving surface En, En be the total emissive power of the radiating surface in the direction of its normal, then E theta equal to En cos theta. That is, if you want to find the emissive power in a particular direction E theta, then you just simply multiply the normal emissive power En, that is the emissive power emitting in perpendicular to the area dA En, and its cos theta. And this relation is valid only for diffuse radiation case. What is diffuse radiation? If the radiation is uniformly emitting in all direction, it is called a diffuse radiation. That means black body usually emit radiation in all direction uniformly. So it is valid for black bodies. So far we have discussed about black bodies, its some basic definition, basic law, everything, and radiation from a single black body. Now we are going to deal with what's the radiation exchange if two black bodies are there. For that, first we will derive some basic equations and we'll see how the black bodies are interchanging or inter-exchanging the radiations. Consider this figure. Let's assume two black bodies separated by a distance r. So A1 and A2 are two black bodies, and DA1 and DA2 are two small areas which are separated by a distance r, and it is inclined to normal at an angle of theta 1. One thing you need to remember, both are black bodies, and N1 is a normal, N2 is a normal to the DA2. Let DA1 area of element in body 1, let DA2 area of element in body 2. Now theta 1 and theta 2, the angle made by the normal to the element 1 and 2 with the line joining them. The projected area of dA1 in the direction of radiation, that is, this is the direction of radiation which is inclined at an angle of theta. So projected area of dA1 in this direction will be dA1 cos theta 1. Similarly, energy leaving from dA1 in that projected area direction will be intensity of radiation IN1 cos theta 1 dA1. Now the rate of energy leaving dA1 and striking dA2 is given by IN1 cos theta 1 dA1 into d omega 1. This is the solid angle where it is emitting, through which it is emitting and striking on dA2. So d omega 1 or solid angle is the angle subtended by the element dA2 at the center of dA1, which can be written as dA2 cos theta 2. By dA2 cos theta 2 is the dA2 cos theta 2 means this is the area in this perpendicular to this line R. So the projected area of dA2 in this direction perpendicular to this R, the line joining two areas, can be obtained by this relation dA2 into cos theta 2. So this is the area where we are going to project. So this is the solid angle, related solid angle. Now dq is equal to, substituting all the values, we will get this relation, and some rearranging. Now consider the Lombard's cosine law. That is, In can be written as sigma t raised to 4 raised to pi. So substitute that value here. Instead of In, you substitute the value. Now the total radiation leaving A1 and being absorbed by A2, Q12, can be written as, so far we have discussed only the energy emitted from small area D1 and absorbed by small area dA2. Now we want to find what is the total radiation emitted by the total area A1, which is absorbed by the total area A2. So for that one, integrate this equation with respect to A1 and A2. So it will be sigma A1 F12 T1 raised to 4, where A1 F12 is written as 1 by pi integral of A1 and A2 and these remaining terms. So without we are going for integration, we will write this term like this: Q12, the heat energy radiating from first surface and which is absorbed by the second black body, can be given as sigma into A1 F12 T1 raised to 4. Similarly, energy leaving dA2 and absorbed by dA1 in the reverse way can be written as like this. Then this is a form applying Lombard's cosine law. We will get dq1, same thing, we are integrating with respect to A1 and A2, and finally we can write Q21 is equal to sigma A2 F21 T2 raised to 4, where A2 F2 raised to is this value. So from 1 and 2 equations we can see that whatever, since it's a black body, all the radiation emitted will be absorbed by the other black body and vice versa. So sigma A1 F12 is equal to sigma A2 F21, or A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21. This is called reciprocity theorem that we will discuss later. The net energy exchange from A1 to A2 is the energy emitted from A2 minus energy emitted from A1 minus energy emitted from A2. That means Q12 minus Q21, which is equal to this equation. On simplification, we can find the net radiation heat exchange occurred is equal to sigma A1 F12 into T1 raised to 4 minus T2 raised to 4. This is the net heat radiation exchange for a black body, where this F12 is called view factor. F is called view factor. F12 is the view factor of body 1 with respect to the value of view factor between two bodies, and if you know the area of first body and if you know the temperature of both the bodies, then the net heat transfer from the first body to second body can be calculated from this equation. This is the importance of this equation. And one thing you need to remember, this equation is valid only for black bodies. Now we will see what's the definition of or details about shape factor or the view factor, configuration factor, geometry factor, which is represented by letter F. So the shape factor is defined as the fraction of radiation energy that is diffused from one surface element and strike the other surface directly with no interviewing reflection. That means without any refraction or any other kind of diffusion phenomena, the fraction of energy, the radiation emitted from one surface and which is striking on the other surface, the ratio is called Sheaf factor. So mathematically, direct radiation from surface 1 incident upon the surface 2 divided by total radiation from emitted from the first surface. So this is the fraction of radiation emitting from surface 1 to surface 1 which is striking on surface 2 divided by total radiation emitting from surface 1. So it is written as Fij, can be written as Fij. It means that shape factor of the surface Ai with respect to the surface Aj. That means if it is F12, then it is shape factor of A1 to the surface A2. So in order to solve the problem related to shape factor, we can use chart which is given in data book. Actually, there are very lengthy integral equations, and those equations are very difficult to solve directly. That's why we are using the chart to find the shape factor. So if it is a parallel surface of equal size which is at a distance of d, then this left vertical axis represent view factor of first surface A1 to A2, and this is the ratio L2 by D, and here another one L1 by D. So if you know these ratios by referring this figure, we can find respective shape factor. Similarly, we have if the surfaces are perpendicular, we can use this chart, and if the surfaces are coaxial disk of different area, so we can use this chart. And finally, view factor for two concentric cylinder of finite length is this one, outer cylinder to inner cylinder, and this one is outer cylinder to itself. Now we will go for view factor algebra or shape factor algebra. The shape factor for complex geometries can be derived from known shape factor of other geometries. The unknown factor is worked out by adding, subtracting the known factor of related geometry. The method is based on definition of shape factor, reciprocity principle, and the energy conservation law. The interrelationship between various shapes factor is called shape factor algebra. That means suppose we want to find the shape factor between some complex geometries. So from the known geometry, something like parallel plates of equal surface area or cylinders or coaxial disk, etc. From these kind of geometries, we can derive the complex geometry view factor. So that deriving methodology is called view factor algebra. For that, we have a set of governing laws. We will see what are the governing laws behind it. First thing is the view factor depends only on geometry and orientation of surface with respect to each other. So it is not a thermal property, it's only a geometrical property. The first theorem is reciprocity relation. That means if you have two surfaces, then the area multiplied by the area of first body multiplied by the view factor of first body with respect to second body is equal to area multiplied by the second body and view factor of second body with respect to first body. This will be equal. So this is called reciprocity relation or reciprocity rule. If the areas are equal, then we can write as Fji is equal to Fij. But if the areas are not equal, we cannot write this relation. Instead of that, we have to use this relation. All the radiation streaming out from a convex surface 1 is intercepted by the endorsing surface 2 as the shape factor of convex surface with respect to the enclosure F12 is unity. Thus, in conforming with the reciprocating theorem, the other shape factor F21 is merely the ratio of area. That means you consider the example of a sphere, a small sphere which is enclosed by a bigger hollow sphere. So, the small sphere is the emitter and the enclosure is the absorber. So, all the radiation emitted by small sphere will be absorbed by the enclosure. That means the view factor of small body with respect to the large enclosure F12 will be unity. So if you consider the reciprocity theorem, A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21. Since F12 is 1, then A1 is equal to A2 F21. That's written here. The conforming with the reciprocity theorem, the other view factor F21 can simply calculate by using the ratio of areas. The next rule is the radiation energy emitted by one part of concave surface is interpreted by the other part of the same surface. That means in case of a concave surface, the radiation energy emitted by concave surface, a part will be absorbed by the same body itself. But in case of a flat or convex surface, the shape factor with respect to itself is 0, because whatever the energy emitted by a flat or convex surface cannot be absorbed by the same body. That's why the shape factor will be 0. The next one is the symmetry rule. As per this one, you see the figure, two surfaces that possess symmetry with respect to third surface. Here the surface 2 and 3 are possessing symmetry with respect to 1 will have identical view factor from that surface. That means F12 will be equal to F13. Now, if the radiating surface A1 has split up into areas A3 and A4, you consider this figure. So, this is the radiating surface. Its total area is A1, which is split into A3 and A4. So, the radiating surface split into this area. Then, A1 F12. So, 2 is this receiving surface. So the view factor relation can be written for this two bodies are A1 F12, that is the entire area of this area, and the view factor of this A1 with respect to 2 AF12 can be written as A3 F32 plus A4 F42, and we cannot write simply A12 is equal to we cannot simply write F12 is equal to F32 plus F42. I hope it is good understand. Now, if the radiating surface is subdivided, the shape factor for that surface with respect to the receiving surface is not equal to the sum of individual shape factor. But in the same way, if you consider